Hi, folks. Welcome to the MGT demo today. Really excited to be showing you the MGT platform and all the exciting things we're working on and the new classes we've just released. I've got my team here, so we're going to go ahead and do some introductions before we dive into the good stuff. Jason, go ahead.
I'm so eager to talk earlier, and now you're like, "Come on, let's go." Hi, I'm Jason. It's always good to see our agents on these meetings. And we look forward to them every single week because this is what we do. We work with agents and love every interaction that we get. And these webinars are particularly special because it allows all of you to interact directly with us. We get to show you the platform, lots of cool new stuff that it is that we're getting ready to launch. So I get excited about these every week. But I run distribution along with the rest of these amazing folks on this call, and we're all looking forward to working with you on a more regular basis.
And I'm Dan Coakley, National Sales Manager here at MGT. Really excited to be joining you. This is my favorite time every week where we get to connect directly with our retail agency partners. And just quick anecdote here. But the other day I logged in first thing in the morning, always look at reports to see what's going on. And I saw an agent who had quoted with us at 3:45 in the morning and then bound that account at 4 a.m. And that just amazed me. I think that's the reason that the independent insurance agent is the backbone of their community. And that's why I love what I do to support you. So thanks for joining us. Super excited to share a little bit more of the MGT story with you today.
So what you're saying is you're going to start getting up at 3:30 a.m. to like man the chats in case the agents need you or anything. We can get you signed up on a shift.
Yeah, maybe 3:30 a.m. Hawaii time.
I wouldn't even know what that is.
Well, I'll go ahead and introduce myself too. I'm Sean Hallerid. I build the website and I'm a marketing lead here at MGT. You can check out our website at mgtinsurance.com. We send out lots of emails here, so check your inbox every week. You'll be hearing from Annalise and from Jason and from Dan. And follow us on LinkedIn. We post all sorts of tips and news and announcements there too. So that's me.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and dive into the MGT Insurance demo. I'm very excited to have you guys here with us and joining the MGT team as a partner. So the agenda today is we just did some introductions. I'm going to go over some of our new classes. I'm going to go ahead and do a demo. And then if you guys have any questions, there'll be a time for that. But also feel free to put your questions in anytime throughout the demo. And then we'll give you some contact information at the end so you can get in contact with us if you need anything. So new classes, something that we haven't released, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago, but it seems like we're coming out with new classes just every quarter. Really exciting. We have a Restaurants Lite version. So when we talk about Restaurants Lite, we're thinking of shops kind of like ice cream shops, juice bars, places without any sort of hazardous cooking. So no open flames, no deep fryers. Things we are okay with the Restaurants Lite are toasters, blenders, ovens, things you can kind of just heat food up or blend it up, but no actual cooking. And then something is they must close before 9 p.m. Something that we're looking to be a little bit more flexible on in the future. But as of right now, 9 p.m. is going to be the cutoff time. And that includes sort of an ice cream shop. Let's say if they're open at 10 p.m. on the weekends, those will get rejected in the moment. But like I said, it's something that we are looking at. So definitely feed us those quotes. The more market feedback we get, we're going to be able to adjust sort of our parameters. The types of businesses that are going to be falling under this Restaurants Lite class, think donut shops, bagel shops, ice cream shops, yogurt shops, juice bars, and then coffee shops. The thing with coffee shops is I know a lot of cafes these days do eggs on their toast, things like that, induction stoves. That's going to fall out of our appetite. But if it's just a standard coffee shop that has pastries delivered in the morning and they're just making coffee on in-house, that's going to be within appetite. Something I want to note with this Restaurants Lite is food trucks are not an appetite. However, I know that there are food trucks that are sort of businesses at a permanent location. So if you think in Austin, Texas, there's a lot of food trucks that are coffee shops in kind of a yard in their permanent locations. Those are going to fall in within our appetite. So Restaurants Lite is just a little preview of full restaurants that we've got coming here in hopefully a month or so. So we're really excited to present this to you guys. Feel free to put in quotes. If it gets rejected the first time, maybe in a couple weeks, we could run it again and see if it gets passed through restaurants full. So that's very exciting new classes here at MGT Insurance. If we go to our mgtinsurance.com website here, this is kind of where you get familiarized with us. A few really great tools that we have here is you can get our BOP appetite right away, learn about us, but a lot of the magic is happening right down here with our appetite agent, Amy. So Amy is our appetite agent that is really built to know and be an expert in the appetite for MGT insurance. So if you have any questions about classes, if you're not sure if it's an appetite for us, you can come here and ask her. So let me ask her, do you write farm supply stores? And Amy's going to let me know, yes, we do write farm and garden supply stores. So this is a really great tool. Like you said, if you're an agent working at 3 a.m. and you're trying to find something in placement, come here to Appetite Agent Amy, and she'll be able to assist you with MGT's appetite.
Until we get Dan on chats at 3 a.m.
Correct.
He
Yeah.
ran away before I could put that on him again.
So Amy is a great tool that you can use here at MGT Insurance for any of your appetite questions. One other thing that I want to highlight on our website here is this chat function. So like we mentioned, there is a chat. You'll see my face and Jason's face right here. And this is a man chat. So if we are in office Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., sometimes 5 p.m., you can use this chat and we're going to be able to assist you in real time. If for whatever reason we're not in office, there will be a support email that you can follow up with, and then we'll get in contact regarding that. But this chat is another great way that you can get in contact with your MGT insurance support crew. So that's a little bit about the website. I'm going to go ahead now and dive straight into our demo. You should be seeing here now, it says MGT, welcome Annalise UAT, welcome to MGT Insurance. So this is our platform demo. So after you sign into mgtinsurance.com, you're going to be brought straight to this place. As an agent, you have the ability to start a quote right away here. But before I get into the magic of quoting with MGT, I'm just going to give you the lay of the land here. Every time that you quote with MGT Insurance or you start a quote with MGT Insurance, it's going to be right here under your quotes tab. You'll see here I have all these quotes that I've started. When you take a quote to bind, it moves right over here to your policies tab. And you'll see right down here, I have a few policies that I've bound. All the quotes that you start end up here in your quotes, even if you don't finish them. So let's say you get about halfway through, you got a phone call, you need to step away, your computer dies. You come back, log into MGT Insurance, that quote's still going to be there and you can pick up right where you left off. So let's go ahead and dive into the quoting at MGT Insurance. We're going to go ahead right here where it says start a quote and select an industry. No need to memorize any sort of business codes. You can kind of just start typing out and it's going to give us options of the business code. So I started with farm. It's giving me farm supply store, distributor, fruit or vegetable store, kind of related to a farm. So you'll select the class right here and then it's going to begin. Then we're going to go ahead and use address. We'll use Google Maps for our addresses. So you'll see here, there's this drop down. You're going to want to select the address from the drop down menu. And just right off the bat, you're going to go ahead and start a quote here at MGT Insurance. If you're quoting a business that's not in our appetite, we're going to let you know right away. One thing about MGT Insurance is we really want to protect your time. And we want to use technology to do so. So if there's something is out of appetite, we're going to let you know right away in red text. This is out of our program. So if at any time during your quoting process with MGT Insurance, you get this red text, that's kind of your cue to say, this isn't going to fall within MGT's appetite. Let me take this elsewhere. And like I said, this red text will come out anytime during the application process if it is out of our appetite. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into a quote process here for an ice cream shop because this is in one of our new classes and I'm very excited and I want to get a couple of them written. So we're going to go ahead and get this ice cream shop going. I have an address here that I'm going to use. And so just like that, we're going to get this quote started and I'm going to go ahead and click go. And we are starting the quoting process here at MGT Insurance. You'll see right down here, the first question we're asking is, do you want to insure any of the buildings at your location? For the sake of this demo, I'm going to select no. But property coverage is something that falls within MGT's appetite. If you're within a certain district or you're not too close to the coastal, building coverage in property coverage is something that we do offer. And then do you operate out of this unit that you own? And I'm going to go ahead and select no for this also. You'll see right here to the right, there's kind of like a little map. This is the Google Maps images, and this is kind of a little tool that you can use to make sure that we're quoting the right business, to make sure that the business looks good, that there's no obvious cracks in the building, that there's no sort of broken glass or something. This is going to let you know that's going to be a good risk for us. And then we're going to go ahead and click continue. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of this quote and I'm going to jump right into another quote that I've started for this exact business, just so that you can see all the information I have. So just look away from the screen for a second and we're right back where we were. Great. So we're starting the quote process here, and you'll see I have this ice cream shop here and the description of the organization. The first question we ask right away is, do you provide any services that are unrelated to this business? So MGT Insurance is really set up for single businesses. So if this was a if this was an ice cream shop, but they also did palm reading as a business, that's going to fall out of Appetite. We only want an ice cream shop. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here and you'll see we're just asking all sort of the basics about the organization. And it's going to be 2 screens about the organization. So name of organization, phone number, sales, business owner, contact information. It's always important, and I always like to highlight that you always put the good contact owner phone number for the business owner. That way, if MGT needs to get in contact with this policyholder for whatever reason, we have a way to do so. Sometimes I have to get in contact with the policyholder and I just have a generic number and it's kind of hard for me to get in contact with the right person. So having the correct phone number here not only is helpful for you, but for your policyholder. Then I'm going to go scroll down and I'm going to highlight here that for this location, I only have 1, but with MGT Insurance, you can do up to 4 locations. So your primary location and up to 3 additional. And I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and we're going to get more about the organization. So what kind of business is it? Is it a franchise? How many employees? Who's the previous insurance provider? Some of these questions will trigger a referral. Let's say there's a lapse in coverage or something like that. That'll trigger an underwriting referral, but we're going to allow you to continue with that quoting process. So just a highlight there. Also, if there is a claim, be as truthful and honest, because that's most important. But if there's a claim, it might trigger a referral. And again, that's not a problem. We're going to move you through the quoting process. If it is a problem, you'll get that red text and you'll know, okay, we're going to move on elsewhere. And then here's this little save button. If for whatever reason you need to walk away from this quote, you can go ahead and save it and do something else. I'm going to go ahead and continue. And we're going to jump into section 3, which is tell us about a little bit more about your organization. So we're doing a BPP only contents policy, what type of building it is, square footage, is there an automatic sprinkler? If there's automatic sprinklers in any of the businesses you're quoting, there's a little bit of a discount for that. So just wanted to highlight that. And then the amount of business personal property in the building. So we're going to go ahead and click continue here. Now we're asking for additional insureds. So this is something that you can go through in the quoting process. You can add your additional insureds. If for whatever reason you find that you need to add additional insureds after the policy has been bound, that's something you'll get in contact with us and we'll go ahead and make that adjustment for you. So you'll see here that I did add an additional insured, and it's the manager, lesser of the premises. And we're going to go ahead and click continue. And then now I'm going to move into optional coverages. And so these are optional coverages that we provide. These optional coverages will change depending on your location and the type of businesses that you're quoting. So if it's different, depending on the type of business you're quoting, that is why. So a lot of the information changes, the questions we ask change depending on the type of business that we're quoting. And so for this ice cream shop, spoilage is an option, and I did select that. So under spoilage, we're just going to capture a little bit more information about that. What sort of inventory are we looking at, about how much money, and what type of coverage we want. So if you want only powder outage or breakdown contamination and power outage, those are going to be the options here. And then we're just going to ask and make sure that there's regular maintenance for these sort of equipment and the powers. And then we're going to go ahead and click continue. So at this point, I have gone ahead and given all the information that MGT has requested for me for this quote. So we're going to ask everything up front to get a quote over to you. So now I'm going to go ahead and select see your quote. There's a little bit of the scoring and quoting happening on the back end on MGT Insurance. And the next screen is going to show you a quote. And this quote that we're providing is a bindable quote unless there's an underwriter referral. But what we see here is a bindable quote. There's no underwriting or underwriter necessary to look at this quote. We'll see right here that MGT has two ways of paying for this policy. You can pay quarterly with one upfront payment and 3 installments after, or you can choose annually, and you can choose annually, get a little bit of a discount here. Everything that you see down here in this drop down, these are sort of the standard sort of policy limits that MGT has decided they want to provide for this quote. If you decide you want to make some changes to that here, you can do it using these drop down menus. One thing I want to note that if you want to increase general liability to 2-4 limits, that will trigger an underwriting referral. So just notice that 1-2 is the best sort of limits that we have here at MGT Insurance. And so if I take a look at this quote and I decide, you know what, this looks like a really great quote, I want to go ahead and move forward with this and present it to my policyholder. We're going to go ahead and select continue. At this point, there's going to be a couple of things that we can do. We can go ahead and print the quote. You can print the quote, send it off to the policyholder. They can take a look at all the questions and the answers that you provided and the quote that we've provided here at MGT Insurance. Let's say after doing so, your policyholder says, this looks great. It beats out all the other competition. I want to go with MGT. Let's go ahead and confirm and purchase that, confirm and purchase. So you'll scroll right down and you'll see confirm and purchase. That's going to take us to the screen where we can make this payment here. And so one thing we're doing right before we collect that payment is we're getting that additional insured information that you said we wanted here. And so for us, it's the manager or lessor of premises, it's Citibank. I've gone ahead and entered this information, and we're going to go ahead and continue. Getting this AI information up front allows us to add that information to the policy in policy docs. Again, if it's something that you find out after, not a problem, we can assist with that. So there's two ways to get this policy bound with MGT Insurance. You can send it to the prospect. What this does is it creates an email, lets them know, hey, this quote is ready to be bound in MGT Insurance. In that email, they'll follow a link. That link has them create an MGT Insurance account, and then it has them go straight to the billing section. Let's say that we want to go ahead and just purchase this policy on the policyholder's behalf because you have their information or they're in the office with you. We can go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and go to purchase now. And this exact sort of flow for purchasing is the same thing for send to prospect or purchase now. It looks exactly the same. And so for this policy, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it annually. I'm going to be using a credit card. You'll see here when I select credit card, this window pops up. This window is used on a third-party server, meaning it is very secure. We use a payment processor. And so all the information is secure there. Let me go ahead and just put in this billing information so that we can take a look at what it looks like when this policy is bound. And I'm going to go ahead and save the card. Saving the card is going to be saving it to the account and to the policy. And then right down here, you'll see I have auto pay selected. This is automatic. It's important to have this selected automatically so that there's no lapse in coverage and there's no lapse in payments that need to be made on a quarterly process. If for whatever reason you or your policyholder decide they don't want auto pay, it is your responsibility and their responsibility to keep track with emails for payments that are due. So for that reason, we do select and suggest auto pay. And at this point, I've gone ahead and finished everything up. Let me just make this. And we want to agree to the terms and conditions here. And when you send this over to your policyholder, what they're doing also is they're accepting the terms and conditions for MGT Insurance. But if you make this payment for them on their behalf, what happens is after we submit payment, they're going to get an email stating you need to accept the acknowledgments at MGT Insurance, which is the terms and conditions and the auto pay. It's very important that the policyholder does that within the first 2 weeks of getting this policy, just to make sure that everything stays active. So at this point, you'll see here that this policy has been bound. Customers must select the login link in a welcome email, and that has just been sent to the policyholder. So in this demo, I have taken this quote all the way from starting a quote to a bound policy. You'll see here now that when I scroll down to my quotes area, that quote is no longer here. It's actually moved over to my policies tab right over here. It might take a minute as everything is happening, but it will move over to the policies tab. Yep, right here, Scoops Homemade Ice Cream. Great. So now that I have this policy, one thing I want to highlight now as an agent, your job is done essentially, right? Now it's in the policyholder's hands to make sure they accept the terms and conditions. And let me show you what that looks like for the policyholder. And so this is what policyholders see when they log into MGT Insurance. They see their policies, profile, documents, and communications, and also payments right over here. So under the payments method in the payments home is where a policyholder can update payment methods if necessary. Under documents and communications, that's where all the communication sort of information happens from MGT Insurance. So you'll see right here, this email authorization request, that's after we made the payment here. So I made the payment, authorization request was sent to the policyholder. And what that looks like is a really simple email and say, hey, thank you so much for getting this policy. Make sure to log in. Once logged in, accept terms and conditions, all is set. So this is a really great tool that we have here at MGT Insurance, this self-service portal that allows you to really put the ball in your policyholder's court and let them know that they are in charge of their policy, that they have the power to make changes. So one more time, I'm going to jump into this self-service and just highlight the profile area. If your policyholder, let's say the treasurer changes or they have a change in email, you can make those changes to the contact information right down here, email change, or even the contact information change. It's not a request that needs to be made. So I know, folks, that I went through that demo a little bit quickly, but let me know if you have any questions. One thing I do want to know is that we are always here to support you if you have any questions or concerns. MGT Insurance is a tech-enabled company, but we have a lot of humans behind that tech making it all run. And here is contact information. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of this or jot a couple of these emails down, this is a great place for you guys to get in contact with us. If you have any sort of underwriting request, if you get a quote through and you find that you need an underwriting referral, we do encourage you to email underwriting at MGT Insurance so that we can expedite those referrals. We do work through them in a queue in order, but if it's something that you need to look at quickly, we highly encourage you guys emailing underwriting at MGT Insurance. Like I mentioned earlier, you can get in contact with us via chat support, email support, or phone number support. And we really appreciate you guys for joining our demo today. Awesome. I don't think there were any questions today, so that's really great. You must have gotten the information you need. Again, if you guys need to get in contact with us at all, this is our contact information. Really looking forward to seeing those quotes come through and winning some binds. Have a great one, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.